Good afternoon. I'm Captain Richard Barkley. I'm the Facilities Engineering Director for Navy Closure Task Force. I'm just a little about myself. I'm a reservist that has been recalled to active duty for this mission. I have a civilian job back in Alabama. I have 33 years of construction experience and a professional engineering license in the state of Alabama.
Thank you. Next slide. Before we get into details about pipeline removal, we want to share with you some of the various avenues we use to communicate and engage with you, the public. Be on the lookout for some of our upcoming events, including information booths, community meetings, open houses, and please stay tuned to our Navy Closure Task Force website and mobile app for more events and information. Next slide. Today we'll have about an hour with you. During this time, we'll discuss the status of pipeline cleaning, upcoming pipeline removal project, and the process of removing the pipeline. We'll also have some time during the end of our webinar for questions and answers. Next slide, please.
Okay, as you can see, the pipeline removal process is very extensive. We have about 10 miles of pipe that we have to remove, and there's a lot of phases to get into all that. Just to get you a sense of distance, you can run the pipe end to end from Joint Base Pearl Harbor all the way to Diamond Head. This process, we have to cut each individual pipe that's about 6,400 sections to about 9-foot sections. We have over 60 valves to remove. And all this will be transported out of the facility and to mainland for recycling. This is a lot of work to be done in all this time. We should complete around 2028.
Thank you for describing the removal process. Before we move to the next slide, can you tell us a little bit more about these pipes? How will they be recycled? Just a little more context to help people understand the scope and scale of what you're working with.
Well, the pipe is made out of steel, so we'll take the pipe and move it out of the facility to the port and take it back to mainland. Once the pipe is back in mainland, it'll be taken to a smelter, melted down, and for reuse within the United States.
Thank you. Next slide.
Just to talk a little bit about the process that we're dealing with here. It's a 4-step process. It's a lot of detailed and challenging work. The first phase that we're about 90% complete with is the preparation phase. This is where we have to run all the utilities and everything within the tunnel. We need electrical, air, things like that for the contractor to do the main work, which is cutting the pipe. Each of these pipe sections is about 400 to 1,200 pounds a piece. If we go over to step 2, the next step is to clean and drain all the pipe, remove all the valves, and do the cable feeding and air feeding. I'll explain that a little bit more later. Step 3 is to cut and remove the pipe. This is the main effort. Like I said before, this is about each piece of pipe will come out in about 9.5-foot sections. That'll be 6,400 sections that we have. We'll transport them out to a staging area and then off the facility. Step 4, the final step, we'll transport it from the port all the way down to back to the mainland to be recycled. The safety of our workforce and the environment are paramount, which is which is why the entire process is so methodical and carefully planned.
Thank you, Captain Barkley, for describing those different steps in the pipeline removal process. You do mention being prepared for a spill. This is something that's very important to the public, the measures that we're taking to prevent any further release into the environment. So is there any chance that this could happen as part of the process? And if so, to what extent and what measures are the team taking?
Okay. It's very unlikely we're going to have another spill. And if we're talking about spills, we're talking about gallons, not thousands of gallons. The facility is mostly defueled. There's just remnants left. And that's what we're getting out now. So it's not going to be a big spill if one happens, but just to take more steps, we have containment set up under these, wherever we're working. We have a secondary containment around it. That way, if anything does spill out of it, it's going to go into a containment and not onto the facility floor.
Just for those that might not be familiar with containment, what is that a piece of tarp? Is that what is it? What exactly is containment?
There's a couple of different things that we use. Some of them are rubberized, like looks like a child's pool that you have outside, just a lot more industrial. And then we have visqueen that we lay down also to cover a lot larger area. We also have absorbent socks. This just cloth that's very absorbent that we lay down on the visqueen. So if it does spill, it'll be absorbed into them. So we have a lot of different measures to make sure it never gets outside of our work area that we're working in. But so far we haven't had any issue with any of that.
Thank you. Next slide.
Okay, before we can cut safely and remove the pipes, we have to clean the pipes, which is through a process called pigging, as you can see here. Well, I don't know if you can see here. Well, we got the thing up. We have a pig here. It's about 1 to 2 inches larger than our pipe. We put it in one end. There's 2 different processes. One is air pigging and one is cable pigging. So for the majority of the facility, we did air pigging, and we put one of these in, put air behind it, and pushed it through the pipeline. And then at the other end, we had a way of catching all the fluid that came out and then retrieving the pig. And then we containerized all that and shipped that off island. For the cable pigging, it's just pretty much what you're thinking. We have a place on the top of the pig that we can tie a cable onto, and then we just pull it through. This pulls out any residual fuel that's in there and kind of dries the pipe as we go through. And this is, it's a lot safer when we start cutting. We don't have to worry about residual fuel coming out and spilling, but also it cuts down on the air. It improves the air quality because fuel has vapors and it gets into the tunnel system, and people have to wear masks and everything else. So this eliminates that process. So we provide extensive oversight for our contractors to prevent any environmental or safety risks.
Next slide.
Okay, this slide shows our current process. Today, we have successfully cleaned or pigged 92% of our pipeline. So far, we've removed about 2,500 gallons of residual fuel. The cleaning effort makes the cutting and removal process significantly safer for our employees and the environment. We anticipate the pigging process to be fully completed by January-February timeframe, and we'll start cutting and removal phase, which is phase 3, shortly after.
Thank you, Captain Barkley, for sharing information with us today on the pipelines, how their removal is important, how it's an important step towards the permanent closure of the Red Hill facility. The removal of the pipe further underscores the Navy's commitment to the people of Oahu and the protection of our island environment. Thank you. Next slide. We now welcome you to submit your questions using the webinar's question and answer Q&A feature and encourage you to share your name so that we can address you in our response. Send it ahead of time. Yeah. All right, as we wait for questions, I have a few that we've received ahead of time and some of my own that I would like to ask. Coming back to pigging, I think now that we've got the video on, could you maybe give us a little bit more information about pigging and what this is here with us on the table?
Pigging is a industrial standard for cleaning pipes ready for removal. Anytime they're working on them, make it safe to work on them, they'll pig them. But pigs come in all different sizes and shapes. This one's a foam pig, the one we're using. They're a little bit absorbent, but the main purpose of these is not to absorb. They're larger than our pipe, so when we push them in there, they're very tight. So we get the whole pipe on the inside as we go through. And they do absorb some liquid. And that's kind of how we can tell when the pipe is free of the residual fuel, is they'll come out and you can touch them and they may be a little damp or mainly dry and just have rust or something on.
Interesting, thank you. What about the current condition of the pipelines? I mean, the Red Hill fuel facility is almost 80 years old or around there. Are there areas of corrosion, damage? What do these pipelines look like for those who have not had an opportunity to be in this industrial facility?
Well, the pipeline's in very good condition. We've, throughout the years, the pipe's been maintained, new coatings put on them to prevent rust, everything like that. So they're in pretty good shape. So we're not really worried about, having bad pipe that we're dealing with while we're trying to move these out. Because it is a very deliberate process of lowering it down and moving it. So
kind of speaking to that, this deliberate process that's being taken, you've spoken about how heavy these pipes are. What are the potential challenges? I mean, maybe from like an engineering and a safety standpoint, and are there any risks associated with this pipeline removal? And then how are these risks being mitigated? Okay,
there are several risks that we have while removing these. These are, as I said before, some of them are 400, some of them are way up to 1,200. Some of our valves go up to 6,000 pounds. So when we remove these, everybody has to be very conscious of what's going on. The contractor does a very good job of going through step by step on each process and calling out each process as they're going through it to lower these things down. So the contractor does a really good job. We internally within Navy Closure Task Force, we could create something called a CONOP. It's a concept of operations. It's everything we're doing to remove a section of pipe, from the cutting process to the lowering process to the removal process. And we look at the mitigations like when we lower the pipes, one chain might be able to take the whole weight, but we mitigate it in case something happens. We do use 2 or 3 chains. We still put containment up under just by chance there's anything that may spill. So we catch it within the containment. Once they're lowered down, we put them on a train and we make sure we cover it. So when we transport it, nothing comes out. So we take a lot of different steps, and each one of these CONOPs that we produce, we also share it with EPA and Department of Health Hawaii to give us feedback on it and approval. So they go through and look at the process also. They give us feedback on it. Sometimes we update the con ops based on their comments and then turn around and come to a final one. The contractor does use that as part of their work steps, and we work real closely with them to make sure we cover all aspects of this.
So you mentioned the involvement of the regulators, Environmental Protection Agency, Hawaii Department of Health. The Red Hill facility is on Navy land, but you're moving these pipelines off-site, obviously. So what about any risk to the public? Sounds like a lot of safety steps being taken as these pipelines move. Does that safety continue? The thoroughness? Do you have anything to add there?
Yeah, we take into account and we work a lot with the OH and EPA to make sure that the environment's safe, the public safety. We're going to be transporting these down to the docks, which is on the roadway. So we're taking everything into account when we're looking at how we're going to transport it, when we're going to transport it, things like that, just so that we don't get into the high traffic times. Little things like that. We're trying to take everything into account so that we can get these on the ship and to the mainland to be recycled.
So safety is the constant, it sounds like, throughout all steps.
Safety for personnel and the environment.
Oh, all right. Looks like we have a few questions that have popped up. All right. First one here. How will you keep the public informed about the pipeline removal process?
Well, on my side, I work real close with you and your team to keep them informed of as we pull stuff out and as we ship it off. I'll keep you updated, and I think we got a place, or we're going to have a place on the app.
On the app, yes.
And the website.
Yes.
We're going to keep it in both places. I don't want to speak for you, so I apologize.
Yeah, no, I mean, we do work very closely together in making sure that the information on the website is up to date with the latest from our operational side of the house for the closure task force and our app. We have some dashboards on the app that help keep everyone informed as to the progress that's being made up on the hill. And as much as we can, how much fuel's been removed, how much pipeline's being removed. Also, our frequently asked questions on our website and our app. In the new year, we'll have many more public engagement opportunities, open houses, community meetings, more webinars, and we hope to engage with you virtually and in person throughout those engagements. Oh, a few more questions. Okay. Will the Navy continue to monitor the environment while removing the pipeline?
Yes, of course. Through our whole process, we're monitoring the environment, the conditions of the facility and everything else to make sure that we're not doing anything that would harm the environment or the safety of our people.
Thank you. So why are we removing these pipes?
Well, it was a commitment made by the Navy to remove all the pipes between Red Hill and Joint Base. And well, I can't say much more than that. They said that we were going to do it. That's why I'm here to execute the contract, help execute the contract and get it done.
Following through with the commitment. Okay. Up next, what happens with the foam thing after it goes through the pipe? What happens to one of our pigs here after it goes through the pipe?
Okay.
And then there is a follow-on question. Is the stuff on it tested? So what's on it and is it tested?
Yes. So everything that comes out of the pipe along with the pig itself is tested, containerized, or it's containerized first. We test it for waste characterization, we call it. And then we ship it off island to a facility that can manage it.
Will soils be tested for contamination as part of the pipeline removal process, especially in areas where there may be known leaks?
I would have to defer that question to our environmental side. My section or my department deals with the deconstruction and the cleaning of the tanks and the removal of the pipe. I know they do a lot of testing up there. I just don't want to give bad information.
Great. We'll follow up on that. And we do have information on our website and our app about the environmental remediation efforts underway as part of Navy Closure Task Force Red Hills efforts. Next question. Are any of the pipes staying on island?
No, all the pipes. So like I said before, there's 10 miles of main pipe that we're doing. There's another probably mile and a half of associated pipeline that we're doing. Anything from, very small 1/4 inch to larger. All that stuff is being containerized and shipped off island to be smelted.
And again, the distance, the context again, you said basically from Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam to Aloha Tower, is that correct? For
No.
context,
Oh,
or how
10
long
miles will go
the
from
10
Joint
miles?
Base Pearl Harbor all the way to Diamond.
To Diamond Head? Okay, that's significant. Another comment, just a comment, I guess. Thank you for your hard work. So yes, thank you to all of our experts that have come to help us with this challenge. So another question is, so confirming that these pipes are not going into a landfill.
No, it's not going into a landfill. Everything is being recycled. This is very good steel, and I'm sure once it's smelted down, there's a lot of facilities that are going to want this type of steel.
Is the Navy doing this work, or is it done by contractors?
All the work being done up there, it's very specialized work, and so it's being done by contractors. The Navy has the oversight on the contractors. We have, project engineers down to our inspectors to kind of getting into the safety. We have, other sections within Navy Closure Task Force that also does checks on the things that we do. So we have several checks going down the line to make sure that we get this out safely and don't harm the environment.
And you mentioned concept of operations. Does that include working with the contractors then?
Yeah, the contractor, in order to develop the concept of operations, we work with the contractor to get their work steps and how they plan on doing it. And then we put it together into a, just like a PowerPoint format showing step by step of how it goes. Share it with the regulators. If the regulators say, hey, we need to add additional steps here or whatever, we take that back and put it in that. And that's what the contractor goes by when they go out there and do each one of those steps.
Thank you. Next one, I believe, do you work with OSHA to make sure the workers are safe? And I know OSHA has to do with worker safety, and I can't remember what that acronym stands for, but.
Yeah, well, so both contractors have to comply with all OSHA standards. And OSHA has visited the contractor, well, one of the contractors that I know of since I've been on island and working with this, and I've been here 2 years. So OSHA, we do comply with all OSHA standards. We have a safety officer within Navy Closure that makes sure that we comply with that and health standards. So we're in full compliance with OSHA standards.
Thank you. Another question is, where in the United States will the pipes go and how will they be recycled?
Well, the pipes are going, depending on the workload of the smelter that they go to, they're mainly on the West Coast. But depending on their workload, it may go to different, there's 2 different smelters. And off the top of my head right now, I can't think of states that they are in, but I know they're on the West Coast. So depending on which one can handle the material, they'll go there. What was the other thing?
It was, how will they be recycled?
How okay. They'll just be melted down and put into steel ingots, I guess you'd call them.
So back to being a raw material, almost
yeah.
like a raw material.
Yeah,
for
we go
use?
back to being a raw material to be shipped to some manufacturing place that'll turn it into something, could be in your car or anything else for still used.
Oh, another one. How long will the entire removal process take, and will any of the pipes be left in place?
So we started this, 2 years ago.
Almost 2 years ago.
About a year and a half ago, we started with this contract of pipeline removal. And we're gonna go to around the end of 2028 is when we'll be finishing up. And right now, we haven't identified any pipe that'll be left on site. So we'll remove all the pipes that are associated with the fuel system.
Thank you. I've got a couple more questions while we wait to see if anyone else would like to ask a few more online. Do you happen to have an understanding of the remaining amount of fuel in the pipeline?
We estimated at the beginning that'd be approximately 4,000 gallons. We've removed 2,500, and I believe 12 gallons so far, and we're 92% complete.
Okay.
I suspect that the estimate is going to be over, so we're going to remove actually less than what was estimated.
And it sounds like you keep pretty close track of those numbers as you go through this process.
Yes, ma'am. We keep up with every time we remove fuel from this facility, we document it, and we have a running total of whether it's coming out of the tank cleaning process or the pipeline process.
And is this something that the regulators are interested in?
The regulators are updated weekly on how much fuel is removed out of the facility, along with our progress in each of the contracts that we're executing right now.
And then that's the information also you provide to my team.
Correct.
That we then update on the website. Okay, so multiple reporting channels.
Multiple reporting. We got to keep everybody on the same page.
We appreciate that. Thank you. All right, let's see here. One more. A lot of these have been asked by the public, actually the ones that I have. One popped up. Okay. What is the plan for sections of pipeline that can't be removed? How are long-term environmental impacts evaluated? So kind of two-part. Maybe start with the first one about any pipes that can't be removed.
Trying to think if there's going to be, I don't know of any that is not going to be removed. There, where it goes through a concrete wall, we may not be able to remove it because of the concrete wall.
Okay.
But it will be thoroughly cleaned, and then there'll be no residual left there on that. So we're removing all fuel from the facility, every bit we can get to. And the second part is,
it's about how the Navy is evaluating long-term environmental impacts.
Again, that's one that I'd have to have another directorate answer because I don't deal with the environmental impact part of it. My job is to deconstruct and close Red Hill.
And the Navy is committed to the long-term efforts associated with the remediation of the facility. And we can revisit that topic in a future engagement. Will you let the public know when the first section of pipes are officially out of the facility?
Absolutely. I think everybody within Navy closure has been looking forward to that day. We get the first pipe out and on the ship to be taken back to recycle. So let your team know, and I'm pretty sure you'll find ways of fitting it out.
We'll definitely put it out there. It'll be on our website, on our app, Red Hill highlights. Got a few different ways that we'll make sure that let everyone know what's going on and when that first bit of pipe comes out. Will this webinar be available after the live event? Yes, absolutely. This webinar, along with our webinars that we've held in the past on safety and other topics, are all available on our website, along with other informational materials. So what's next after all the pipes are gone?
Well, after all the pipes are gone and all the cleaning of the tanks have been complete, it'll just be the closure process with DOH and EPA going through and then evaluating what we have done, what standards they're looking at, and if there's anything else we need to do, we'll take that up at that point. But after all the pipes are gone, we should be pretty close with all the tank cleaning, so it should be closing the facility for good.
Another question about our pig over here. What type of material is used for the pig?
This is just a foam material. It's pretty kind of a medium. Can't press too far into it, but it's good enough to where you can compress it, get it into the pipe. So it's just a foam.
Is there any risk of the pig contaminating the environment?
Now, as soon as the pig comes out of the pipe, we take it, one this small, we can put it into a 55-gallon drum. Then we test it, close up the drum, and then ship it off island. Some of the larger ones, which we have some that are, 6 foot tall almost, those we sit there and wrap in plastic heavily and then put in a containment after we test, and then it is shipped off island.
Wow. Okay, what are the types of pipes being cleaned? And are these different pipes for different types of fuel? Were they for different types of fuel?
Yeah.
I guess it's past tense.
Yes. So the facility used to hold JB5, F-24, and F-76, two type of aviation fuels, and then one type of diesel fuel. And pipes carry the different fuels. They didn't mix. That's why there's 3 of them leaving the facility and coming down. And but there's no difference in the cleaning process or the, removing the residual fuels out of the lines. Still use same type of pig, same foam, all that.
So with the pipes removed, how will the fuel get to the planes and ships at the base?
That is a question for our base. I'm not a fuel expert. My background is civil engineering and construction, construction.
That might be a question for another time with other subject matter experts.
Correct.
Yes, okay. I'm looking here and I feel like you've really given us a thorough overview of the scale of effort up there that's underway and the care that's being taken for safety of personnel and the environment. And really appreciate you leading that part of the effort for us.
Well, it's been a great experience. I love being part of something that we're closing down something that has been harmful to the environment. I think it's great, and I'm glad to have worked here on this project.
Thank you. It looks like we don't have any more questions coming in right now, but please stay up to date on the latest with the closure of the Red Hill facility via our website, our app, our podcast, Red Hill highlights, lots of information out there, and join us in the new year at some of our upcoming community engagement events. Thank you for joining us today and participating in the webinar, and have a good evening. Aloha.